Hello. Today two. I don't really know what I'm going to talk about today. I literally was just 6 minutes into a video and my phone storage filled up because I have 10 gigabytes of old Netflix films downloaded on the app. So I just skeeted that. Don't really use that unless I'm flying, which I'm not right now. I'm at home in Fremantle. It's raining outside. I've had a beautiful day. I taught Elsa and Elsa's friend Molly and my friend Valerie through yoga today. So essentially at the naval stores. The first time I did it was with James one-on-one, and this is now 3 people. So kind of my second lesson that I've taken in preparation for the 11th of July, which is the day on which I will at 4:30 teach my first official yoga class to a public setting at Yoga Lab, where I completed my yoga teacher training, which I'm really excited for. And I'm a little bit nervous, but I think I'm getting more and more confident. Today, I had a hard time. I had the opportunity to stop, and I'm glad that I did. Certainly the first time, I'm glad I did because I was feeling nervous about it becoming arduous and not being, not being interesting for the 3 of them. And so I just went, okay, just stop. We've got to come to a nice place here after some sun salutations, like a bit of a natural respite. I just stopped the music. I said, hey, look, do you mind, let's just come out of that and how's it going? And got some really good feedback and some really insightful feedback and great advice from Valerie and Molly and Elsa, and they were very supportive, and I'm very grateful for that. So just sending more thank yous and gratitude to them for taking time out of their day to come and, let me experience what it's like to teach in front of people. We then went to the sauna, we went and had some lunch, and it was just a really great day. It's been a really beautiful day. One of the things that I experienced was I got overwhelmed with this isn't going well or whatever, and I stopped. And the first time was okay. The second time it was more awkward, but it had been an hour and I was like, okay, we just got through a right and left side of the strong kind of standing sequence that I want to take people through the meat of that session. And I suppose I was like, okay, I need a break, I suppose. And I don't think I will need that when I know I won't need that when I actually take the class. I'm not going to have an out. I have to go from start to finish without stopping. I just have to grit my teeth and grind through that experience, that internal experience of doubt and what am I doing? What are people thinking? What's their experience like? Because I care. I think that's a normal experience that every teacher has. Probably even the most experienced ones possibly doesn't go away. You just get better at managing it. So I'm excited. One of the things that Sean, my teacher, told me when I had a one-on-one refresh with him on Friday was I need to kind of bring my energy up, be more energized than I am, express my passion for the practice, express my, I think one of my strengths is a genuine belief, I feel like I genuinely engage in the philosophy and the spiritual side of the practice, and I don't want to enforce or impose rather any kind of spiritual experience on people at all. But I certainly have experienced deeply the value of developing a deeper sense of awareness of my inner world and the sharpening of my attention to that effect, and the beauty of how enjoyable it is to feel your internal world expanding. It feels infinite. It feels like that's where there's so much to explore and so much time can be spent internally to such great outcomes. Really valuable. In any case, I don't want to push the spiritual element, but I want to drop people into their bodies. I want to guide people into developing that deeper awareness and connecting with their breath and feeling the sensations of their bodies and getting out of their minds as much as they want to, and as much, if that's what they want, as much as they can. So Sean spoke to me about wanting, like, share that passion. I think that will come in time. I'll find my own way. I'll find my voice in how I integrate the philosophy into the practice in the spaces between movement. And that's okay. That'll come with time. The modulation of energy in the delivery is something that I need to work on, and it spanned me out a little bit today. I was like, I'm really still very monotone in the delivery of this, but honestly, I think that that's kind of my vibe, like monotone in the sense that it's quite grounded and it's quite calm. I feel quite grounded and quite calm when I practice. That's kind of how I want to feel. It almost really, for me, it's an extension of a meditative practice. So as much as I really enjoy energized classes, and I really admire and really enjoy and would love to emulate more and more Sean's ability and a few other teachers' ability to really drive up the energy in the class, not to like a kind of fitness exercise thing, but really there's a real power to encouragement and empowerment. Like the energy that he's talking about is the energy to empower people to explore those things in an active way, whereas perhaps I'm delivering it in a more passive way at the moment. In any case, ultimately, I got really good feedback on that style anyhow. Hearing that it was grounding and calming and that it came across genuinely is fantastic. I'm really happy about that. So it gives me a little bit more inner peace kind of leading up to the class on Saturday. So kind of just having a little ramble now. I suppose I am taking this video not because I need to talk about anything, but it's a nice record of my day and my headspace. And I just want to keep up the habit of doing these journal entries. I think that the consistency will be really key. And even if I don't feel like I have anything to say, or I don't feel like I can string words together, I just sit down in front of the camera and start talking, because even, I had a go at this and then the thing filled up, and during that entire delivery I was saying and a lot, and this time I actually feel like I'm not umming and ahhing, which is okay. That's a part of a natural kind of conversational rhythm, cadence. Totally fine to say those things, but there you go. I would like to see kind of the growth in the articulation. Also just how to string together a narrative a little bit, how to return, circle back to the kind of core of what I'm talking about. So this is that. I'm just getting it out. I did think yesterday about what are some topics that I'd like to talk about. I wrote some down in my phone. Things like my relationship with my parents, my relationship with friends, my relationship with myself. Now that I think about it, I think I'd like to talk about my relationship with my younger self and my adolescent self, like my childhood self, my adolescent self, and my adult self, and myself right now, as well as the self that I want to be, the person that I'd like to become and evolve into, where I see my life going, the qualities I'd like to turn the dial down on, and the qualities about myself that I'd like to turn the dial up on, and some new dials. What are some new things I want to put in there? I think that would be great to talk about. I definitely want to talk about my relationship to, as I said in the last video, mental health, so depression, anxiety, ADHD, forthcoming diagnosis, forthcoming assessment. We'll see what happens. my relationship with drugs and alcohol. So that's one I think I'm really kind of quite looking forward to talking about. My sense of identity and my relationship to drugs and alcohol, and my sense of identity, my relationship to sex. My relationship to sex has gone through a massive change over the last probably six months, I'd say. 6 months, which doesn't seem like a lot of time, but in my world, 6 months is fucking ages. I feel like I live my life I feel like there's things always. So 6 months, big shift after a long time of having a particular relationship to sex, what sex meant to me, and why I pursued sex. I mean, there's myriad reasons, but we'll get into it. I'll back it another time. But I will say that awareness of, the changing of my relationship to sex started to occur prior to the end of last year. And really intellectually, I think it started intuitively changing, and then intellectually it shifted heavily after I came to the realization that through my teacher training, I learnt about something called vasanas, or character traits. And a vasana, I like the word vasana because asana is a posture you make in yoga, and a vasana is like a mental character trait you have of yourself, which I kind of think is like a mental model, a mental posture that you hold, a character trait, a belief that you have about yourself. And vasanas are typically developed as a result of samskaras, which are imprints. When someone says or does something to you over and over again, or you say something to yourself, or you do something to yourself, or you act something out over and over and over and over again, they become these deep-seated beliefs. They become vasanas. And my relationship with sex is, there's beautiful parts to it, and there's not so beautiful parts to it. And one of those is that I think sex, one of the vasanas that I have had is that I'm unlovable, or I'm not likable, or I'm going to be second best, I'm going to be not chosen. And that deep belief affects so many things in life. And one of them is my relationship to sex and relationship to other people through sex. And a lot of that has driven my even attitude towards relationships, and my fear of commitment, because look, we'll get into it. We will get into it. But that's not the point of this video now. I just want to talk about the things I want to talk about. My relationship to, if I haven't said already, drugs and alcohol. My relationship to yoga, my relationship to meditation, some of the experiences that I've had as a result of persistent practice in yoga and meditation, some of which happened only a few months ago. Kind of the most, I suppose you'd say, the most impactful, one of the most impactful experiences in my life. And then my relationship to God, and the re-entry of God in my mind back into my life. And I think God as a term can really, strike a little bit of, whoa, what are we talking about here? Because of the relationship between the word God and organized religions, Catholicism, any Christian denomination, Islam, lots of colonial and damaging facets of organized religion: control, misogyny, racism, oppression. Yeah, not good, But that's not what I'm talking about when I say God. I really am talking about something else. Anyway, and we'll get into that at some stage. So the other thing I'd say is that yesterday I realized that, I am someone that I struggle with feeling like I'm misunderstood. And I mean, even yesterday I finished talking about my father. I mentioned my father had experienced psychosis when I was younger. And I left that going, oh, wow, yeah, that, I don't want that to paint a poor picture, but I guess we're going to have to just unpack this bit by bit. My father's an amazing man. He's an amazing father. As my mother and my stepfather, I love them dearly. And I've spoken to my dad about this whole period throughout my life, and we've done a lot of healing, and none of it was intentional. And that's the impact of mental health, you know. It doesn't stop. It doesn't not happen to anyone, you know, like it's a tragedy sometimes. So yeah, I love him and love him and my mum and my stepdad dearly, and they were great parents. I just wanted to, I suppose, express that caveat, if only for myself, not to leave that sense anywhere. And I suppose I want to capture this whole process, where I am right now, to watch the transformation over the next 5-10 years, capture who I am now, so I can look back on myself and smile for who I am when I watch this in the future. And remember these experiences. Remember what was kind of on my mind at the time, or what had been on my mind. I think that I'm looking at this as an opportunity also to talk about things that have been on my mind for a long time. And a lot of it I've processed it, but I'm talking about it is kind of just sharing my story. So anyway, I guess I'll leave it there. This is 17 minutes long. It's gonna be interesting when I actually start unpacking these stories. I think I might need to keep some kind of, I may need to do some kind of plan for some of these, because I feel like they could just tangent. But thank you for watching, and thank you for, hey, day 2, doing it. You're doing the thing, man. Just keep going. All right, I love you.